don't know Shakur, baby. I don't know. I don't know Shakur looking a little suspect out here, especially with these tweet and deletes. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about it. What up, YouTube? Big T.O. Heavy Bad Boxing TV. Man, get your goof ass in here. Hit the bag. Hit that like button for your boy. That helps the channel. You know, I appreciate that love. Shout out my gang, man. The bag hitters. Y'all already know the count. Now, just as recent as a few days ago, we all was locked in on a Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin showdown. This fight was significant for me. It was going to answer a lot of questions about Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin for sure. I mean, vacant WBC on the line. This would make, of course, Shakur Stevenson a three-weight division world champion, and this would have been Frank Martin's first go at it at a world title. A lot of questions would have been answered in this fight for me. I was excited for this when they even had a date, right? They said both sides had agreed and that they were basically in the final stages of sealing this deal. But according to Shakur Stevenson, Frank Martin ducked, right? And we kind of took that and ran with it. You know, a lot of the times when you look at something, you just like, hey, I called Shakur Stevenson out on the same thing with the Devin Haney situation. It's undisputed. You don't turn that down. Your biggest payday. Shakur said he knew what he was worth. I just felt like it was a duck. And I feel like you got to keep that same energy when it comes to Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson's situation. So obviously something's going on with Frank Martin's camp. Something they ain't happy about. Something. It looks like it boils down to the purse split. Maybe Frank Martin feels like he deserves more. Now, he said on his at his own admission on social media that he ain't never say he wanted 50-50, but I'm guessing he wanted something more than an 80-20 or 75-25. But this is the same Frank Martin who in an interview said that Shakur was crazy for turning down Undisputed, and he was like, give me that same opportunity. But yet here we are. You had this, not the same exact opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless to become a world champion, to have your opportunity to beat Shakur Stevenson and grab your first world title, the vacant WBC. So no matter what the pay situation was or the purse split was, this was your opportunity to step up. Like you said, Shakur Stevenson should have stepped up, right? And for Shakur Stevenson, for you to basically do to Frank what Devin did to you, it's crazy. And stand on it and think, we don't notice. Oh, nigga, we notice. We notice. So you got to snatch a lot of credibility, I believe, from Shakur Stevenson, if in fact this is the way that it has played out. Because, looking at the situation, this appears to be what has happened, right? It appears that Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson tried to treat Frank Martin like Devin Haney tried to treat him. And, that shit go both ways, right? But nonetheless, it looks like Shakur Stevenson is moving on, and he has set his sights on a different target, a different opponent, somebody he feels is better than Frank Martin. And he had this to say, quote, "This fighter got more heart than the rest of them. And truthfully speaking, I believe he is a better fighter than that bitch who got cold feet and pulled out. But look, you press up on me, I will answer the phone call. I don't duck no smoke. Let's get to it. At Edwin La Granada. Edwin de los Santos." Now, I think that's a formidable opponent for Shakur Stevenson at 135 pounds. This is somebody who's definitely kept Shakur Stevenson's name in his mouth. He's been calling out Shakur Stevenson. Now that Shakur Stevenson, it looks like or appears that this Frank Martin fight just not going to happen. Now, there has been some people close to the situation saying that Frank Martin is, in fact, going to take this fight or really wants to take this fight. Give it till Monday. But it looks like Shakur Stevenson is trying to move on at this point. Excuse me if y'all can hear the airplane in the background, man. Not too far from the airport. it looks like he moving on. And I think the De Los Santos fight is a really, really tough fight. You're talking about somebody holding a lot of dynamite. De Los Santos, 16-1, 14 wins by knockout. And I think the most notable win could have been against the highly touted at the time, Rayo Venezuela. But this is definitely a winnable fight for Shakur Stevenson. I think the experience would come into play as far as, him already being a two-weight division world champion and having the composure to use a lot of that aggression that De Los Santos will come into this fight with. Now, listen, if he catches Shakur, it could be a problem. But the way that defense is buttoned up on Shakur, that's a tall task for anybody, right? He's got to be extremely calculated against Shakur Stevenson to get off those power shots. If not, it'll be target practice. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that I see with De Los Santos. He commits, and a lot of the time he overcommits. And what Shakur Stevenson can do is make a muff miss and make a muff pay. You know what I'm saying? That's his specialty. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shakur Stevenson made this fight look easy. But De Los Santos most definitely has a puncher's chance. And now, if they come in here with the right game plan and they can implement some real serious boxing to go along with that power, and try to set up some shots for De Los Santos, for Shakur Stevenson, maybe he can give him some trouble. I just don't think that front foot action from De Los Santos is going, it's going to do much with Shakur Stevenson. And I feel like it'll get him frustrated faster when he realizes that Shakur is just a lot harder to hit than he thought he was. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's calling him out because he probably don't feel like there's a real power threat from Shakur Stevenson and he can overpower him. But I think he'll realize soon in that fight that boy is real smart. He's fast. That defense is crazy. And those bee stings start adding up real quick with those beautiful counters. Now, again, not ruling De Los Santos out. If this fight actually does happen, I think he has a puncher's chance. But, like I say, I'm taking Shakur over everybody in the lightweight division, bro. Dude is nice at the end of the day. All right, but you guys let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Shakur Stevenson setting his sights on Edwin De Los Santos. Which fight do you like better, man? You like Edwin or the Frank Martin for Shakur Stevenson? And, man, Shakur, come on, baby. We got to move better than this. You know what I mean? You're out here exposing yourself. You're looking kind of crazy. You're looking kind of crazy. But I'm going to keep my mind focused on the actual fighter instead of the politics. All right, Big T.O. Heavy Bad Boxing TV. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.